Cowboy fans and YouTubers? It's that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below. I make these videos for me and you, and they're a little therapeutic, you know. It's great when you get to sit back, try to enjoy the weekend, and then boom! Pat Mahomes signs a 10-year deal worth $503 million. Okay, for one, you better hope he doesn't get hurt or anything. Two, y'all came out and shit on Dak for asking for some money, saying that no quarterback or player owning more than, 10-11% of the salary cap ever wins a Super Bowl? Well, I'm glad Kansas City got one, because apparently in the next 10 years, you'll never see one again, because he's going to take most of your salary cap. And that's hoping that the salary cap goes up. With coronavirus around, who knows what the hell's going to happen. 3, does this affect Dak? Not really, because the Cowboys have already pretty much decided that we don't do deals ahead of anybody else. We sit back, we bait, we tease, we talk a lot of BS out the side of our mouths, and then we cave in the last minute. So expect Dak to go ahead and get his 4-year, $100 and something million deal with $35 million guaranteed, signed by the deadline. This is day, I don't even know what day it is anymore. But if they're going to do the 5th-year option, I know Dak and his team have probably gone back to the Cowboys and said, well, y'all fucked around and took too long again, so here's what we're looking at. You want a 5th-year deal on me? You're going to have to up that money. Plain and simple. $35 million was the going rate like a week ago. Now it's gone to 35 and a half, 36, 37. If not, you'll see me on the franchise tag again this year and probably next year, and then I'm gone. You better start tanking for the next quarterback, because I'm not going to be here. Let's see. 4, I'm still dumbfounded at the numbers, because last I checked on the over the cap, Kansas City ain't got that kind of scratch. So more than likely it's the 2-year rookie deal they got right now, because in 2 years that's when the real 10-year new extension kicks in for all that money. So they're hoping that the TV deals and the salary cap and everything goes astronomical out the ceiling, so they can afford paying that kind of money. That's all I can be thinking. Also, more than likely it's front loaded. So by the time you get to those years, there's a sign through 2031. So you're hoping by 2025, 2026, you never know. Hopefully, with all the front-loaded money, if he starts to break down, you can go ahead and get out of the deal, you know? So who knows what it's really going to look like over the years. All I know is Kansas City is hoping that he keeps that kind of magic. They keep a team that's going to be competitive. They can't have no drop-off. Oh, no. This Kansas City is paying for a New England Patriots kind of dynasty. Now, is Pat going to be guaranteed to take you to the Super Bowl? Jeez, almost every year? Probably not. Between him and Lamar and Deshaun, they're all playing for the AFC. So you're thinking, what the hell? It's going to be pretty hard trying to beat out, you know, all them other guys at the same time, and that's not counting who's going to be representing the NFC side. Because think about it. Now that you don't have Tom Brady against you in the same division, well, the same conference, now you possibly have to face him in the Super Bowl with everything on the line. So it's going to be a lot to go on. It's going to be they're really trusting that he is the guy for the next decade. We don't want like an Alex Smith injury to happen where your leg is completely shattered and more than likely there's no way in heck you'll ever play again. I mean, you're young, you got a better shot than Alex Smith right now, but you never know what can happen. You could be not even playing and something happens to you outside of the football world, you know? You just never know. So, them signing this huge, giant, mega deal, you knew something like this was going to happen. So, you know, everybody knows they didn't need to, you know, completely freak out because you knew something like this was going to happen. And yet, the only headlines this whole summer have really been, is Dak going to get paid? Well, now that Pat Mahomes got paid and absolutely nobody gives a fart because everybody anticipated it, it goes back to the Cowboys saying, well, shit, you had the man on the rookie deal. Maybe you should have helped him win a fucking Super Bowl and, you know, your numbers could have been astronomical like this, or you wouldn't have the argument against him like you do, or like you don't have against Mahomes if you'd have won a Super Bowl on his rookie deal. But guess what? You didn't. And all that time you sat there saying that, well, if we pay him all this money now, we'll never be able to afford a team around him. Well, bullshit. You had 4 years to do that, and you decided not to do shit with it. Now, I don't know if that's more management's fault or if that's coaching's fault. Because as you know, Jason Garrett was very staunch against certain players, certain positions, and it was a huge detriment to the team. So in the end, are we really putting all this back and forth on Dak, management, or the coaching that is no longer there? Because if you look at it, Dak did what he had to do to win games. He did what he had to. He got into the playoffs 2 out of 4 years, and in that time, he had a shot to do something, except for bad coaching, which summarily ended their season each time. If you didn't come out with a fucking slow as shit start against the Packers in 2016, you wouldn't have been playing catch up the whole fucking game. If you didn't just have a better idea of how to stop the run game against the Rams, you'd have gone to the NFC Championship that year in 2018. But again, bad coaching. You fuck around, that's what happens. So I don't want to hear this bullshit no more about, well, they'll never be able to pay for any other players on the team with all this money going towards Dak. Well, how's Kansas City going to afford it? Shut the fuck up. Same thing. Apparently, y'all hate Dak just for being Dak for some reason. I don't know what it is. You ungrateful ass Cowboy fans. That's basically all it is. You see a quarterback lose a game or is not who you want, you just shit on them for no reason. And the criticism is unwarranted. It really is. Everybody hated Romo, but the man was way better than what we had since Troy Aikman. Everybody hates Dak. Why? And y'all want Romo back all of a sudden when you shit on him. It's like, y'all always want the next quarterback. But you can't fucking settle for anybody unless they win. And win now and win big. I mean, would y'all love Roger Staubach if he never won? Would you love Troy Aikman if he never won? I mean, let's be honest. Y'all shitting on Dak just because of nothing. It's biased against him for some reason that nobody can point out. Y'all try to use numbers against him, but every time y'all use numbers, there's numbers for him and against him. So that's not settling an argument. If you're counting wins and losses, okay, that's great. But some teams never win, even with a great quarterback. So that's not going to help the argument either. So the only reason to hate Dak is just because you just have a hate for the man. Not as a player, apparently, just because he is who he is. So I'm just shutting that down. But yeah, to round it off, this whole mega deal by Pat Mahomes is really not going to affect Dak. They already knew that it was coming down the pipeline. That's why they had their numbers already, and they wanted to get that 4-year deal done. It wasn't going to change anything if Deshaun and Mahomes got theirs, because they already knew where they stood and what they wanted. I mean, come on. All the people who really thought Dak asked for $40 million, please. The man probably asked to be paid as much as Russ, and that's it. That's your bottom basement right there. I want to start at 35. And we'll go from there. Oh, well, Pat Mahomes is going to get 40. Okay, that's great for Pat Mahomes. But I know that I'm not having seasons like him. I'm not winning Super Bowls like him. So trying to come up with an astronomical number like 40 mil is not really going to be right. I mean, I sat back and watched you pay Tank Lawrence, Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper, and everybody else, Jalen Smith, Leo Collins. But when it's time to pay the piper, me, you sitting there holding the papers. I'm sitting here with a pen, ready to sign. And when you don't want to put down the papers, you talking about a 5th year. No. I don't want to be compared to Wentz in golf my whole damn career. I don't want that. I want to go on my own. I'm my own man. I don't want to be compared to all the other quarterbacks. It's as simple as that. And frankly, anybody who's talking about the numbers of quarterbacks over the years, it's going to be what it's going to be. We always said that the quarterback market was always going to jump up over time. Pat Mahomes just destroyed that myth. So now you're looking at basically any quarterback coming out now being less than Pat Mahomes, because let's admit, unless you out here winning Super Bowls every year, you're not going to get his kind of money. They're just not going to find a way to justify that kind of thing. But it's just funny that his numbers came out and it looks like a baseball figure, You never thought you'd see some kind of baseball numbers in football, because people always said there's no conceivable way that you could ever afford it. And yet, here we are. Kansas City pulled it off somehow. Boy, are they hoping for that fucking TV contract money and the salary cap to continue going up. Because if not, this is a huge shot in the foot on their part. But we'll just have to take it in time and see how it goes. This is, let me check real quick, July 7th. This is day 7 of Dak Watch. We are 1 week and a day away from finding out if the man will sign a long-term extension or not. I do believe it will happen. I do believe it will be last minute, like usual. And we're going to have our quarterback for a while. If he does not sign, then yes, that will be now your cause for panic. Because that means he could fuck off this year. That means he may ball out this year. We don't know. But to think you're going to come back to the table next offseason and try this bullshit again, that's not going to work. He's really not going to want to go through this all over again. No player does. Unless you're Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins doesn't have the talent that Dak has. He doesn't have the wins, the respect that Dak has. And he took his in stride because he knew he was out of Washington. He knew how they were rolling. But that's all I got to say about that. As far as Washington goes, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion they're going to have to change the name. You got your 3 minority owners who own 40% of the team, and they want out. If the reports are true, they are trying to sell their stock in the team. And they've been trying, and some have been trying to do it for years to change the name. So it looks like a bad relationship between the minority owners and Washington. So I don't know, what Snyder had on the CEO of FedEx to get their name on the stadium in the first place. But I think the contract runs through 2025 or 2027, something like that. So they have to figure out something out there. I have not seen the tweet or what's going on with Deshaun Jackson in Philadelphia. Apparently, the team has had to talk to him because he did tweet out some slanderous, offensive stuff. I don't know. I didn't read it yet. I saw it come across as I was getting ready for work, and I didn't have a chance to sit down and look at it. But as an Eagle fan, what do you think? I mean, when y'all re-signed him, y'all were happy as pie. But then he hasn't proved his worth yet. Not since he's come back. So, what do y'all do with the guy? Do you just flat out say, hey man, you cause any more distractions or don't produce this year, you're gone anyway? Are you going to start decreasing his playing time and put Rager in? Or, got to figure out something in Philly. Because for what the NFL says and sent out the memo to teams, they do anticipate training camp to start on time. So, pandemic be damned. They're going to do what they're going to do. If people get sick, they're just going to let them get sick and move on and keep going, And again, like I said in previous videos, until somebody with huge name recognition that apparently isn't Zeke Elliott, they're going to keep on running like nothing's happening. So, Zeke Elliott, fine. He can have it. NFL doesn't care about him anyway. They already made an example out of him. Some of these lower name players, Von Miller, guys on the offensive line, stuff like that, doesn't matter. Tom Brady, though, oh man, shut down the NFL. We'll see. We'll have to see. But that's my thoughts on today, day 7, countdown to D-Day. Y'all take care out there. Stay safe. I know yesterday I was going to make a video, but I woke up sick. I was not feeling well at all. Think it might be a slight bout of food poisoning yesterday. But I'm fine today. I'm ready to get back on the grind for the week as far as work goes. Y'all take care of yourselves. Let's just keep in mind that there is still a pandemic out there. There's a lot of people act like it doesn't exist anymore. And I don't want anybody to just unknowingly end up with it, because you just never know. But take care. Talk to y'all next time. VA Dallas Cowboy fan out. What up, VA Cowboys fan? Back at you real quick. Just heard on the radio the Mahomes deal is backloaded, not front loaded, as I previously said. They're trying to keep the team intact for as long as possible in the Super Bowl window before, Pat Mahomes starts breaking the bank. I do believe they said his cap hits in 2022 is going to start at 31.5 and go up from there. I think it maxes out at like 60 million. It's going to go from that to, overtime, 31.5, 40, 41, 42, and then 60 million. So, they're going to try to do their best to keep that team together for now. But that window is going to be quick and short if they don't win it all in the next couple years like the Patriots. But we'll see how it goes, like I said. All right. Whew. Ready to go to work. Talk to y'all later. Peace.